So Innova recently just came out with this new disc, the Racer, which they claim is like a seasoned destroyer right out of the box. And I just so happened to bag a couple seasoned destroyers. I have this blue one, which is very flippy, and this green one, which is perfectly seasoned to be a bomber. I'm really curious to see if this even lines up anywhere within these two, and if it does, is it going to be sort of the more flippy variant or the slightly more stable kind of bomber variant? For anyone interested, the flight numbers are 12, 6, -1, 2, so it's 6 glide, so it should glide farther, and it's a 2 fade, so it should have less fade. So in theory, that should just mean it should just go further. It should just be like a seasoned destroyer. So we're gonna play a couple holes out here. It's a little windy and it might start raining, but I'm gonna try and get through a couple holes, test on a couple angles, very similar to how we tested out the cloud breaker in my last video, and we should get a pretty good feel for it and be able to conclude if what they say is true, if this is like a seasoned destroyer. This is a 170 gram destroyer. I usually have 175. Shouldn't have too much of an impact, but just figured I'd let you guys know. One more thing to note, this actually does feel really good in my hands. Like the star plastic, really good, like not really any flashing. It does have a bead on the outer rim of the disc, and it's my understanding that a bead usually makes a disc more overstable. So maybe they had like a flippier mold they put the bead on to kind of give it that slightly more stable profile. But usually a bead's on the inner rim, and I also don't think I've seen beads on a 12 speed before, so pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and throw the destroyers first on this hole here, just on a Anhyzer. That was a little pulled right, first throw out of the car. Tailwind held it though. Try to go a little more Anhyzer, more towards the pin here. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. All right, Racer. Holy shit. Okay. That probably went 480, maybe not 480, 450. It is, from what I can tell, much closer to my flippy destroyer than my more like stable bomber one. All right, just so you know, I wasn't lying. If this focuses in, about 450 from the pin right here. Pretty far. I mean, that thing isn't just a seasoned destroyer, like a destroyer you have in your bag for a year. That is like a 5-year-old destroyer. And I've thrown some lightweight destroyers. I've thrown some 170 destroyers. This is certainly not that. It's not because it's light. This thing is flippy. Oh, too windy. Stay. Dude, I seriously don't know why I threw this upshot so poorly. Last video, duffed the upshot and then duffed the putt on this hole, so same exact thing, a little too high, and then this one's gonna be in. Nope, it's still bad. Okay, I think that first hole is conclusive enough to say that this thing is flippier than any of the destroyers in my bag, even the most understable, flippiest ones, which is definitely gonna make things very interesting because I very rarely throw the most understable one, as it is hard to work with. But I'll continue throwing this guy on some holes and see what I can do with it. This is a hole where I think if I can hit it on Anhyzer and get it to turn, I should get some nice distance out of it. So let's just see. I think we still have kind of a tailwind, same as the last hole, so should be able to help me out a little bit with the stability. There is not another person on this course right now, and there is a crazy thunderstorm like 3 miles north of me right now, so let's hope I don't get pissed on during this video. Turn. Oh, whoa. That is so far. That is so good. That makes me want to start throwing flippy discs on this hole. That was like such an easier shot than the flex shot I normally throw. You know, I tend to ease up on shots a little bit when I'm throwing new discs when I think they're flippy. So I definitely didn't give this like 100% power or anything like that. But this is up there with like some of my best drives on this hole. So certainly a very easy workable disc. Will do a lot. Actually, I wouldn't even say workable. It does a lot of the work for you. Let's see if we can get an eagle, huh? Oh, I didn't get enough height though. It was a good throw, just not enough height for the hill grade. Okay, we got a chance at a very long jump putt here. Probably not making it, but it is a layup. Very good set of drives for a disc I am throwing for the first time today. Nope. Okay, let's just move on to hole 13. Let's go over the water. You know, I think there's like a non-zero chance. I just go past the basket on this one if I hit it the right way. I think getting it on a good, like medium amount of hyzer and getting it to flip up has been pretty much the best for me, getting a little bit of turn out of it, but knowing it'll fade back. You know, putting on too much hyzer, I think it'll not quite get that turn, but hitting it too flat, it's probably gonna turn over for you. So let's try and hit it with some hyzer through this gap, get it to turn over. I think I've turned it over a little bit much there. Yeah, just way right. I think little touchy, you know, some discs can take a little bit of angle being off. This one, if you don't hit the right amount of hyzer, like I did just then, I kind of got a little over on it. It's pretty much just gonna finish out right for you. Not gonna quite get as back as much as you want. You know, after it's all said and done, still got about pin high. Certainly not my worst drive on this hole, just needs a little more stability, or maybe a little bit better of a release from me. But not terrible, you know, not terrible. A little more finish, a little bit better of a release. Could have been parked for sure. Oh, I already know I am not making this. that was actually a lot closer than I expected. You know, I kind of knew this going into this video. And by the way, and maybe I should film at this course when there's a little bit more sun out. Always end up under the trees looking out into the light on this hole, and the lighting is just terrible, so I apologize for that. So I kind of knew before starting this video that this disc wasn't going to go in my bag. However, if there is one hole on this course where it'd be nice to have this disc in my bag, this is the one. Calls for a big Anhyzer. You know, you can go up the middle roller, you could technically go for the hyzer over the OB, which I think would be really stupid. I don't think I've ever seen that. Big Anhyzer's the play here. Pretty clear cut to me. And the miss is really just not giving enough Anhyzer, not trusting the turn out of your disc, and just letting it fade out. And there's OB on the left the whole way up there. And with the hill kind of going uphill, and with the OB squeezing in, the further you get up to the basket, a lot of the times the miss you're gonna see is people letting it fade out. You really gotta get it turned over. And sometimes it can be kind of tough to really get over on a disc like that when throwing up this hill. So something a little more understable like this that'll turn for you can be really good on this hole. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm just gonna hit it on Anhyzer. I'm not gonna try and turn it over too much. I'm just gonna see if I can let the disc do the work. Haven't really thrown an Anhyzer with it yet, so I'm thinking it'll be pretty good. Oh, dude, that is smashed. And on the left side for an easy little chip into the green. If I threw my normal destroyer like that, for sure would have been way OB left. Just let it do the turn on its own. Absolutely beautiful. All right, if you needed more convincing on how friggin' far this disc goes, this is a, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 foot incline, and I drove it 410. I'm not gonna try and show you because I don't think it's gonna focus on the camera. Feel free to go on UDisc, Shadow Pines, hole 14 blues, right up next to this tree right here, is about 410. That's a smash. That's like one of my furthest drives on this hole. And the easiest little chip shot ever. Now, one slot a seasoned destroyer can fill very nicely in anyone's bag is a forehand disc. And this is gonna be the only forehand I'll throw in this video. Not a lot of forehands on this course, unfortunately. If you're like me, your backhand's gonna have a little bit more of arm speed than your forehand's gonna have. So naturally, you're gonna want a little bit touchier, flippier disc to flip up for you when you're throwing a little slower. So even if you're someone that has kind of the arm speed to throw a destroyer, but you want something that's gonna be better for a forehand, maybe the racer's for you, I'm gonna give it a try here. Pretty much flat release, you know. This is a long hole. What does it say on the sign? 470 downhill. I kind of like going the big backhand spike hyzer route now, just because it's more fun and my forehand isn't that great. However, I can reach it with a forehand if I hit it right, and this could be a pretty good disc for it. Let's give it a go. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's that was terrible. Let's just move on. Look at that. The sun is coming out of the storm. How beautiful. All right, last hole, hole 18. You know the drill. Let's get this thing over the OB, and let's try to get it all the way down to the trees for an easy little upshot. And I'll give my thoughts on this disc. I think it's been pretty fun. I think it's a good disc. I got a lot of nice things to say about it. Oh, that might be smashed. No. I'm just a little weak boy, never mind. You can see why I never throw understable discs on this hole, even to get far down there, because now we got to throw all these tiny little trees to get to the pin, unless you get like way over there. But you know, let's give it a little hyzer, skip it in. Oh, it hit a stick. Now I'm sad. Okay, I literally just made the putt, but then didn't hit record. So I'm just gonna give my final thoughts on the disc, because who really cares about putting? This is a great little disc. Oh, and I just saw lightning, so I better get the hell out of here before I really do get struck by lightning. This is a pretty good disc. I would say it definitely sort of fits the bill for being a more understable, like more seasoned destroyer. The beat on it's a little bit weird, but I mean, it's pretty cool. I would say it's maybe more of like a seasoned destroyer for like 3 or 4 years, not just like a 1-year-old destroyer, like I said, but it definitely flips up, gets a little bit of fade at the end. Really nice understable disc, really good for turnovers, holds those lines really, really well. And I really think I am about to get absolutely drenched if I stay out here for more than 2 more minutes. So I'll see you next time. Peace. Okay, time to not die. Bye-bye. Looks like I am the only dumbass who thought it was a good idea to come here today.